Hi, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. I'm Dr. Svetlana Dani, and I'm so glad that you're here. This podcast is going to be a space where we explore the musculoskeletal system together, what it is, how it works, and most importantly, how to take care of it. Some of what I share here I've known for years through my work as a sports medicine physician, but honestly, a lot of it I'm still learning. There's so much information coming out every day. And I think that's a part of what makes this so exciting. So I invite you to be curious right alongside of me. Now, before we get into the science, I wanted to start somewhere personal. So I grew up being very active. I did gymnastics as a kid, and then when I was in high school, I ran track. And looking back, I realized I never really thought of any of it as taking care of my body. It was just for competitive reasons. It was to learn some skills. And that was something that I really loved. And in gymnastics especially, I was always chasing the next skill, the next level. And if anything, I was overtraining. I was pushing my body without ever really thinking about what I was asking it to do. And it wasn't until much later, it was mostly through training as a physician and specifically through sports medicine, that I started seeing muscles and the musculoskeletal system differently. And I started seeing it not just as a tool for performance, but as a living system that deserves our attention and our care. And part of why I went into sports medicine in the first place is that I already knew, or at least I thought I knew, that staying active was one of the most powerful ways to prevent illness. That movement was key to a healthy life and being able to do the things that you truly love. And I believe that deeply, but here is what I didn't fully understand. And even as I was training in sports medicine, how important it is to truly take care of your musculoskeletal system, not just to be active, but to protect it and to make sure that you take care of the muscles and the tendons that make activity possible. And how important it is to do injury prevention and all of the things that when I was younger, I didn't realize were important at all. I'm truly, genuinely fascinated by the musculoskeletal system and how much it can add to your life. It's amazing how the musculoskeletal system creates movement. The fact that the same muscle can produce an explosive jump and a slow, perfectly controlled gesture. It's amazing. It's the same tissue, and it's capable of completely different kinds of motion. And that really never stops being remarkable to me. And the way that your nervous system reaches out and activates your muscles, translating a thought into movement, isn't that amazing? You can think of something and then you're able to move your limb. I think it's fascinating. And I want everyone to look at the musculoskeletal system with wonder. Okay, so I'm going to start with the basics. What is skeletal muscle? So your body has 3 types of muscle tissue: cardiac muscle, which makes up your heart, smooth muscle, which lines your organs, and skeletal muscle, which is what we're talking about today. Skeletal muscle is the muscle you can actually feel. It's the stuff you work when you go for a run, when you lift something heavy, or even when you just stand up from a chair. And it's called skeletal because it's physically attached to your skeleton through tendons. So these tough fibrous cords that anchor your muscle to your bone. And it's the only muscle tissue in your body that's under your voluntary control, which means that you decide when it moves. And here's something that I love about skeletal muscle. And we can zoom out for a second. The smallest unit of the skeletal muscle is a cell called the myocyte, or a myofiber. These tiny cells are bundled together into groups, and then those bundles join together to form full muscle. So when you think about your biceps or your quadriceps, you're looking at an incredibly organized structure built from millions of tiny cells, and they're all working together. And get this, the skeletal muscle makes up about 40% of your total body mass. That's nearly half of you is muscle. And that's not a small thing. That is a system that deserves a lot of our attention. So your muscles are not just tissue, they're the physical record of every time that you choose to work on yourself. Okay, so what does skeletal muscle actually do? So now that we know what muscle is, what does it actually do? And the answer is a lot more than most people think. The obvious one is movement, right? Skeletal muscle connects to your bones through tendons. It crosses your joints. When it contracts, it pulls those bones closer together, forcing movement at the joint. That's how you walk. That's how you wave hello. That's how you catch yourself from falling. Every voluntary movement you make is skeletal muscle at work. Your muscle also holds you up, it maintains your posture, it keeps your spine supported, it stabilizes your frame against gravity, and every single movement that you make when you're awake is through skeletal muscle. But muscle also protects. It acts as a kind of living armor around your bones and your internal organs, and it absorbs force and cushions any impact. And here's something that genuinely surprised me when I first learned it. Muscle is your body's main heat-producing organ. So when you shiver in the cold, that's your skeletal muscle contracting very rapidly to generate warmth. And even when you're not shivering, muscle tissue is quietly generating heat through other metabolic processes. It's your built-in thermostat. And here's one that's really interesting. It's also an endocrine organ. So it secretes hormones. And the hormones will talk to the tissues next to the muscle, they'll go into the bloodstream, and they'll talk to other tissues. So with every movement, your muscle is literally talking to the rest of your body. How does it all work together at the cellular level? Well, muscle contraction is powered by energy, specifically ATP, which is basically the currency of your cells. Contraction also depends on calcium. When your nervous system sends a signal to muscles to contract, calcium is released inside the muscle fiber and triggers the contraction process. Your brain sends electrical signals called action potentials down a motor neuron system. Every time you want to move, your nervous system recruits motor units. And as you gain strength over time, more and more of those motor units are recruited. So why is muscle health so important? And why is it so much more than just about fitness? And here's the question that I keep coming back to. If muscle does all of it, if it moves us, if it protects us, if it warms us, communicates with our organs, what happens if we don't take care of it? And the research is actually very clear. Any meaningful loss of muscle or muscle function leads to some degree of instability or immobility. And the downstream effects go way beyond not being able to lift heavy things. We now have very good evidence that skeletal muscle health is linked to how long we live and how well we live as well. And studies show that people with better muscle health have protection against mitochondrial dysfunction, which is one of the hallmarks of cellular aging. There's a lot of growing research that connects muscle health to risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. There's a great 2025 study published in The Lancet that found associations between blood biomarkers for Alzheimer's disease and progressive muscle strength decline. And that suggests that these systems are deeply intertwined. And we're still learning about it. There's still a lot more stuff to learn, but we are finding out that there's just so much that muscle does that we don't even know about. It's also the primary site of glucose uptake in the body, meaning that it's directly involved in regulating your blood sugar. Now we know that the health of your muscle tissue is inseparable from your metabolic health overall. And honestly, I find that amazingly exciting. It excites me because taking care of your muscles is not just about looking a certain way or performing at a certain level. It is an investment in your long-term health and just your whole body, how it moves, how it functions. So I started this episode by telling you that I used to move my body without really thinking about it. And now that's all I think about. Muscle is not just tissue. It's not just something that holds your bones together. It is a living, breathing, communicating system that's working for you every single day. And the more we understand it, the better we can take care of it. In the episodes to come, we'll go deeper. We'll talk about tendons, what actually happens when you train, about myths and misconceptions, and about what the research really shows about building and preserving muscle at every age. And again, I'm very excited that you're here. I'm learning right alongside of you, and I couldn't be more excited about this journey. So thank you so much for being here. If this resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need a little reminder of just how remarkable their body is. And until next time, take care of your muscles.